Sometimes we operate from this place and this idea that if you're not like me, you're wrong. And isn't it just so beautiful that we are all so different? That's what makes us unique and what makes us special. And we should not try to ever get rid of that. And we definitely shouldn't violently harm anybody because of that. It'll make sense later.
His name was O'Shea, and y'all killed him. Y'all killed him. Y'all killed him. Y'all murdered him right in front of me. Just pumping gas and listening to Renaissance and just having a good time. Covered in his blood. I'm holding his stab wound. And O'Shea was just trying to tell people, like, yo, we may be gay, but we're not. It's not calling for all that. And it stabbed him.
I am deeply saddened to have to start my show off like this. A 28-year-old man named O'Shea Sibley was stabbed to death at a Brooklyn gas station after voguing with a group of his friends. Yes, you heard me. And check this. They were dancing to Beyonce's Renaissance album, which is a well-known tribute to the LGBTQIA community, just before the stabbing, all right? Police told the New York Post that the suspect and his friends who are Muslim were offended by their, and I quote, scantily clad dancing. That's when the confrontation happened. I want people to understand that there is a difference between feeling oppressed and being oppressed. And there were men, presumably straight if law enforcement is investigating this as a hate crime, in this situation who felt the need to assert dominance on someone who was A, minding their business, and B, living out loud with their friends, having fun. And the reason I brought up feeling oppressed and being oppressed is because gay people living their lives in front of you does not make you oppressed. It just doesn't. That's not how oppression works, y'all. It is merely two human beings living their own experiences in the same world. Because you have to keep in mind that straightness is the norm. Heterosexuality is the norm. Gay people watch straight people live their lives every day out loud, all the time. And I know someone is thinking, well, that's the way it's supposed to be, Portia. And even if you think that, believe that, live that, what we do know is murdering someone isn't. And I know we love to scream, but what about the kids? And they're influencing the kids. And I ask, how is murdering someone who is living their life any good for the kids? Queen Bee does so much for so many people. And honestly, I'd be very surprised if she doesn't ask for a moment of silence for O'Shea at one of her concerts soon, especially as more details begin to be revealed. However, I do want to drop some good news into the mix today. Queen Bee recently donated $100,000 in scholarship funds while in Detroit. All right, so last week, she was on her tour there, and this was all done through her Be Good Foundation as a part of her Renaissance Scholars Program. This $100,000 was able to help 10 students at the Detroit School for Digital Technology. This school is making big waves since opening in 2017, and they even had a visit from the president. Beyonce revealed that she plans to donate $1 million in scholarships along her tour. That's that energy, energy that we need. Speaking of Beyonce, I bet you it's so hot in those stadiums. You know, Beyonce is just touring and her crew is still continuing to deliver. I just stand, all right? But listen, y'all, I just know this heat that we're experiencing cannot be what Beyonce imagined when she dropped the song Heated. Fan me off, I'm hot, hot, hot. Okay, give me a fan, all right? Because it's hot. The heat continues to intensify across the nation, and millions of Americans brace for what scientists are dubbing the hottest month in history. The Advocate Channel's Patrick Cornell has more.
Temperatures scorching above the triple digits across the United States
I don't blame him.
as experts stamp July the hottest month on the planet in recorded history.
I just feel kind of, nauseated, and then I feel flushed. You can feel it. Your heart rate speeds up. Sometimes you have a little light headache and you just feel dehydrated and you got to have your water. So I have my water right here.
The historic heat wave intensifying in states like Arizona and others that have already experienced deadly impacts of extreme temperatures, prompting millions of Americans to heed excessive heat warnings from California to New York City.
You gotta be like a lizard on a day like that. You gotta stay in the shade, you gotta move slowly, keep the heart rate low. Otherwise, you're just gonna be sweating bullets.
The European Union's Copernicus Climate Change Service notes that global temperatures are likely the highest in at least 100,000 years, with the possibility of long-term effects.
You should be drinking every hour or so, getting 8 to 16 ounces in if you're outside.
The heat wave also hindering the battle against wildfires, intensifying in states such as Nevada and California, where the York fire has scorched 70,000 acres of the Mojave National Preserve. In this region, fire whirls or vortexes of flames and smoke are creating dangerous conditions for firefighters. I'm Patrick Cornell reporting.
Speaking of heated topics, Florida is still flirting, all right? Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is apparently extending an invite to Vice President Kamala Harris to discuss the state's new Black History standards. Now, the fact that he, extended this invitation to the first Black female president seems a little gaslightish, right? That definitely has some undertones of uncomfortability to it, if you ask me. But to be fair, Harris did condemn the new standards during a recent speech in Jacksonville. The standards stated that middle school students would learn how slaves developed skills that could be applied for their personal benefit. They are trying to not only rewrite, but reteach history that we all know is a fact, all right? There was no such thing as an alternative fact. That just means it's not a fact. Important note, we've reached out to Vice President Harris's office for comment. Would y'all show up to work the next day if you won the Mega Millions? Okay, so don't kill me, but I totally think I would because I really love what I do. I do it for you, okay? But don't ask me any questions if I show up all glammed up, with my Fenty or Jimmy Choo or Laquan Smith. I mean, honestly, it would be endless. The jackpot is worth $1 billion or $527 million in a lump sum payment, if you take that option. And that can go a long way. We're talking houses, cars, vacations, generational wealth. But most winners still wind up broke. So how do you win and not get scammed? The Advocate Channel's Karen has some tips.
Mega Millions crossing the $1 billion mark.
Winner, winner, winner.
Winner, winner, chicken
Thank you.
dinner.
After no winners Friday, the jackpot has climbed to more than $1 billion for the drawing at 11 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesday night, leaving ticket buyers to dream.
You never know. Could be you. Or me.
But financial planners say don't just dream, plan. State Farm says before a winner claims a prize, they should call a lawyer, an accountant, and a financial advisor. Depending upon the state, a winner may have a few days or even a few months to step forward. Kiplinger says large prize winners will often need to choose between a lump sum payment minus taxes or payouts over 20 or 30 years. Investing a lump sum could grow that money, but the yearly payouts will spread the wealth out over time. And the Federal Trade Commission says lottery and sweepstakes frauds are among their top reported scams. They often start with a phone call or a text telling a consumer they've won a prize but need to give the scammer personal information or money. Tuesday's Mega Millions contest is for the second $1 billion lottery prize within weeks. A Powerball drawing on July 19th yielded a winning ticket in Los Angeles for a $1.08 billion jackpot. The biggest Mega Millions jackpot to date was $1.537 billion won in South Carolina in 2018. A $1.348 billion ticket was sold in Maine in January.
Listen, No matter what the world tries to tell you, be too you. Too weird, too sparkly, too smart, too different, too trusting, too loving, too much of a powerhouse. Be too you, because the world could always use a little bit more you. So, see you tomorrow. And no, I'm not saying girls, because I still ain't got my nails done.